In 2007, when there was a conversation about those who are likely to be president or president of Nigeria, Bokwari came out, among others. And the Tifnumbu's comment about Bokwari running for president of Nigeria is that a person like Bokwari should never be president of Nigeria because he is an ethnic jingoist, an ethnocentrist person, an Islam, a jihadist, somebody that will divide Nigeria. If he ever become president, 2007, that's 2007. Today, the jihadist has come of age. He has declared war on the infidels, a distraction of killing the IGBOS, declaring a second civil war, exactly how Tifnumbu predicted. But he saw it, his greed made him black out. And today, it is that greed that is now killing us in Yoruba land. It is that greed that is now killing them in Benue. It is that greed that is now killing them in Enugu, killing them in Ebonyi, killing people all over Nigeria today. The greed of the selfish few led by Tifnumbu, Atifku, Saraki, and the rest of them. But I'm talking about Tifnumbu tonight. Elections have consequences. Everybody will pay the price. And this is the beginning. Thank you. For those of us who have already joined, shared the broadcast, or even click on the thumb up, thank you. Yes, you all heard the interview that Bokwari granted just 2 days ago. Bokwari was an atomic bomb, a ghost that should have been left, right, to continue to wander in the land of the dead. But the greed of some selfish few, a man who thought he could use the back door, same way he deceived the people of Lagos State, and he held their fortune in his guard for the past 22 years. And what did that bring upon them in Lagos State? Underdevelopment, poverty, and more of joblessness. Insecurity has been the bane of Lagos State for 22 years of Tifnumbu. But the greed of these guys made him felt like, and this is the story, are you with me? That Bokwari has the power, and the Fulani oligarch and the terrorists have the power to try to subjugate and take over everyone's life across Nigeria with their fake one Nigeria message. There was a genesis. 3 times this criminal Bokwari contested that he wanted to be president. They said he was a very popular person, very massive, but he never had the number to be the president of Nigeria. But something happened in 2010. That was when Tifnumbu saw the loopholes, an opportunity that he realized that he could be president. He became a kingmaker in his own right, playing the fraudulent, mystical, or a myth of he controls Yoruba land political space. He doesn't control Yoruba land. He doesn't control the Yoruba political space, but he has enough coverage to make him remain politically relevant, right? In 2010, Goodluck Egbere Jolantan decided that he was going to run properly after succeeding Yaradua. And at that time, the northern Nigeria, including those in PDP, they were up against him. So he found an easy ally in Tifnumbu of ACN. While Tifnumbu was jumping from one political podium to the other, campaigning for ACN, he was also jumping on the next available presidential jet to go and meet Jolantan. And he said, After meeting Jonathan twice, the first time, right, where he got $1 billion. It's on record, though. This is not a SEO, okay? But that's not what I actually want to bring out. After meeting Jonathan, they said, Tifnumbu came back to Southwest and he met his gang of thieves and he said, man, Bobo Jonathan, that he is so ordinary. That let me give you the meaning of that. He said, after meeting Jonathan, the way he's talking, he doesn't understand anything about power. The guy is so ordinary. And he saw that the president of Nigeria was actually begging him, practically begging him, that he needed his support. What does he need? What does he want him to do? And that was why Jonathan had easy ride in Southwest among the ACN folks, right? But the same INEC that conducted the election decided to ensure that Tifnumbu had his way to spread his tentacle. That was the first time he was able to win an extra state in 2011, including Edo and so many other places. It was part of the deal. So he saw the loopholes and he was like, okay, right, I think we can be president. I can be president. So that was when the dream started. Then he decided to go and meet them in the north. Who could we use? Oh? Who could I use to become president of Nigeria? Oh? Because this Jonathan, we can't kick him out. This one is ordinary. So after 2011, in 2012, when they now tested the water, that was the what did they call themselves again? Save Nigeria of Tunde Bakaru. So Tifnumbu and gang, they started pumping money into the civil society organizations, okay, using them to test Jonathan and to prove to his boys that I told you he doesn't understand power. Watch. And true, they had a field day for so long, and Jonathan caved in. He gave them what they wanted. He reversed the oil price. He kept the subsidy. And they said that same subsidy they protested that he should keep, he should not remove, was the exact thing they now use to build their propaganda against Jonathan. But all because Tifnumbu thought it was an opportunity for him. So he didn't want to come out to say, as a Southerner, he is going to run for president in 2015. He needed ally with strange bedfellows. That was where Bokwari comes in. Bokwari was in CPC. Tifnumbu was in ACN. Atiku too want to be president. His story is for another day. Okay, we are talking about Tifnumbu now. The deal, the greed that brought about the calamity that is not just going to befall him, or the one that is befalling Yoruba land today. If you're a Yoruba man watching me, pay attention. So they brought that brought about strange bedfellows, people who have nothing in common. Are you with me? Rufaya of Kaduna, Tifnumbu, Bokwari, Kwakwanso, Atifku, and so many of they became friends, a very large one, against one person, which was Jonathan. And people, all of them had their agenda. Atifku want to be president. Saraki want to be president. Tifnumbu want to be president. Bokwari want to be president. To Tifnumbu, it will be easier to deputize a Mumu so that he can be vice president and Bokwari can be president. So when they put all of the arrangement together, they were now watching themselves. Everybody is watching one another. Okay? You know, like they were laughing in the media, they were doing all of that. But behind the scene, they were chopping like it was war. Last, the Saraki team from PDP, they won, the argument won. That was when they stopped the Muslim ticket. It was like all of them agreed that Bokwari will be president. But what they will do is that they will just use him to take power away from Jonathan. Then they can then take that power away from Bokwari because it's a dumb, this one, they don't know anything. They don't know politics. We'll just use them as a bridge. Then Saraki people came. They said, no, Muslim ticket will never happen. Oh boy, now, whoa, don't say I'm telling you story, because if I don't tell you this, some of you who will blindly, conveniently, and erroneously tell people that whatever happened, Tifnumbu is a Yoruba man. All of us must rally around him. Aha, that's exactly the word they used in 2014. Yorubas, we have to be part of the central government. Jolantan has done this, has done that. Therefore, Yorubas will be closer. Tifnumbu will be, Jagaban will be vice president. After Bokwari, Jagaban will just be president, and Nigeria will just get MKO. That was what they told the Yorubas. It was the greed and selfishness of a single man who is whose desire to be president for whatever reason for himself dragged the entire Western Nigeria into what we are now dealing with. So if my story is too long for you, you can come back after 30 minutes, okay? When probably it will make sense to you, just for your own sake, okay? So strange bedfellows came together to form a single party, not to change Nigeria or unite Nigeria, but to keep power and destroy that Nigeria. But you see, they all have different agenda. Bokwari wanted to be that president so that he can implement this jihadist agenda he is implementing now. Tifnumbu wanted to be president so that he can say, I became president. President Tifnumbu, a very powerful Nigerian. Are you with me? Atiku want to be president because, according to him, he was the one who let Obasanjo run for second term. Since that time, Nigeria owe him the presidency. He let Obasanjo run for second term. Obasanjo prostrated for him so that Atiku will not remove him. And since then, Nigeria has never given him that presidency. Meanwhile, Saraki, who is also very cunning, is waiting in the wing. He's not in the rush. He decided to go back to the Senate so that he can be Senate president. So that when the power paradigm of the whole thing will change, it will still be in position of those who will determine what is going to happen next. But guess what? They all misfired. They all misjudged Bokwari. All of them, they joined together because of their greed. Bokwari used them to gain power for all that is now happening today all over Nigeria. Everything happening now. That's exactly what Bokwari and co wanted. And they are getting it. So what happened afterward? They stopped him from becoming vice president to Bokwari, Muslim ticket. And he looked at it, they said, okay, we will honor you as national leader. Bring somebody to be the deputy to Bokwari. Do you know who he picked? His main confidant. Some of you don't know why he picked fake Pastor Ruga. Do you know why? I'll tell you, or I will remind you. Fake Pastor Ruga under Tifnumbu, for the 8 years of Tifnumbu's being governor of Lagos State, is legal advisor, and at the same time is Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Lagos State was Pastor Ruga. Now, if you have been hearing about Tifnumbu converting or diverting Lagos State properties, landed properties, money and all of that to his name or to himself, using different proxies and all of that. And if you go everywhere, you will find everything legally. For example, his Bodilon home was meant to be a guest house. Oando Petro, whatever. They were supposed to be the one who owned the place. You know what happened? Tifnumbu used Lagos State money to buy the place, right? And they make the place Lagos State Governor's guest house, okay? So within a year or two, by the time Tifnumbu was leaving, that place was then, that place was now given to Tifnumbu. Lagos State government bought the place from Wando. They now gave it to Tifnumbu as his own pension as a former governor. That's how that Bodilon place became his house, okay? So among other things, when you look at them, you will see that they used every legal, fraudulent legal way in that Lagos State. Who did the job? fake Pastor Ruga, Oshiomole, your pastor. Let somebody shout hallelujah. So he's confident. He's the one who he can trust when it comes to something so big like that. So that's how Pastor Ruga became the nominee. And when Pastor Ruga was given the mic, wait for it, during the 8 days, when they were putting all the scam together, the plan was that once they join the government, once they win the power, they will just do one, they will do anything. Bokwari will just pine. Once Bokwari pine, Oshiomole will become the president, right? And one way or the other, Oshiomole being the president means that if Tinubu is in power, but they didn't know that as they were planning, the Fulani jihadists are also planning. So immediately they came to power, the brigade started. The first action, let me remind you, was that they have arranged that, you see this Kabiru and Sumonu, who are the Senate president and the speaker, Bajabia Moron and the other Malu in the Senate. That was the thing they arranged, that Tifnumbu would bring the speaker, okay? And the what do you call it? The same Tifnumbu, who endorsed who will be the Senate president, and this guy was to be. So there was actually no real thing for the Saraki, Atifku, and the rest. Okay? So what happened? Immediately they came to power. They organized them. That's the first game they play for him. When they came to power, they said they want to elect the next National Assembly leadership. So Tifnumbu is house in Lagos. People were gathering there. Those who want to be minister, those who want to be this, those who want this and that. So he's playing the role of a godfather, like the same way he does in Lagos, okay? So what happened? When they now called all of them to a meet, they said, we are going to elect the Senate president and speaker today, but we all want to go and meet the president first at the Yaradua Center. Who is the president? Bokwari and fake Pastor Ruga. So, at Tifnumbu, at the fake Pastor Ruga, at everybody, they were waiting for Bokwari at Yaradua Center. And all of their loyalists, including Bajabia Moron, Bajabia Moli and the rest, they were waiting. Saraki and Co. decided to go and make deal with PDP. You know, they were PDP. They just needed the power. So they quickly made the deal. Saraki became the Senate president. Now, so the war between Saraki and Tifnumbu took another dimension. Saraki don't put Sansan for Gary. The plan don't change. They can no longer just go ahead with the whole arrangement. The whole thing don't scatter. But that was the beginning. After Bokwari became president, everyone lobbying Tifnumbu in Lagos to be minister as the new leader of APC, the new power. 6 months, Bokwari did not even pick his phone call. He's no longer talking to him, right? Until Tifnumbu sent the names of minister after 6 months, and he refused to put the names of his own loyalists, his known loyalists, Fashola and Co, because he didn't trust them, right? So when Bokwari received the list, by then it was Abba Kyari that was in charge. When they received the list, they were like, "Look at him. He wanted to come and plant. He wanted to come and plant moles inside the government. Just drop the nonsense list he sent." Tifnumbu, like me and you, Tifnumbu only read about the ministerial nominees online, like me and you. That was the second attack, to tell him that we will put you in your place. And they appointed the people he failed to appoint. They gave the appointment to Fashola, gave appointment to Shitu, gave appointment to Kemiade Oshun, appointment to people who have no direct relationship with Tifnumbu anymore. Right. The next thing, Ondo election came, Ekiti election came, Oshun election came. All those elections were coming. But before the election came, it was about the primaries in APC. The plan was that, right, they were going to control, Tifnumbu will be in charge of the party, okay? Bokwari and Co will be in charge of government, so that Tifnumbu can build a party that he can take over power from Bokwari. That was the plan. Maiyegun was the chairman. Now, what happened? When the nomination for those Tifnumbu nominated, including Kogi, those Tifnumbu anointed as APC candidates, they were all they were all soundly rejected. That was how Yeye Bello became the governor of Kogi. All of this short-changing frustrated Tifnumbu. He ran away from Nigeria in 2016. Then Bokwari fell sick. They brought Bokwari to London, and he became a vegetable for over 100 days. By then, Tifnumbu don't run away from Nigeria down to the South France, and he's been living there since then, after 2015. Are you with me? So, when the government of Bokwari, after all of that, ran into trouble water, the protest was gathering. People wanted to give him the Yaradua treatment. Tifnumbu, who was used and abandoned, used and dumped. They called on him. They sent the ticket. Tifnumbu, can you jump on your private jet? We need you in London. The Yoruba media, the Southern media, they have been exposing the fraud of a dead Bokwari in London. We need you to come and help us douse detention. That was another opportunity for Tifnumbu. So he quickly flew to London. When he got to London, he didn't learn his lesson. No, I'm trying to tell you that he never learned it. His greed led him to this arrangement. His greed dragged Yorubas into this bloodbath. But he didn't learn his lesson. Just 2 years after they took over power, he did not learn anything. He saw another opportunity. Maybe Bokwari is dead, so he can go back and tell them that Bokwari is dead, though. Oshiomole should be president, too. But no, they don't get deliver. Around that time, Bokwari has already changed all the security chiefs. Everybody is now tailing. They've already been tailing all of them. So his greed still made him to say, I am loyal to Bokwari. He flew to London and he said all manner of rubbish to tell the people in Nigeria that Bokwari is strong, ill and healthy. Just like Pastor Adeboye also said when he met Bokwari in London, Abi. So when they now go back to Nigeria, these Fulani jihadists, they now put arrangement together. They said, you see, we have destroyed the APC because they've disappointed everybody that work with them. Atifku, Saraki, all of them, they've started fighting. They are like APC Broom, changed to Cutlass. Now it has changed to AK-47 anyway. So their Broom changed to Cutlass. They are attacking themselves. Atiku already lost his long-time intel contract at Apapa Wharf. Immediately Bokwari came in. Saraki himself, they have started arresting people they know with him. He was being investigated for fraud and corruption. And you know what I'm talking about? They were all like after one another. You remember they were actually strange bedfellows. They lied to people that they had planned for them. Meanwhile, they had none. Okay, so they brought Tifnumbu back. They said, Mr. Tifnumbu, can you be the reconciliator in general for APC? He saw it as another opportunity to make him, become relevant again. And maybe his presidential dream can come back to life. A very greedy, selfish person, right? So he now gave them conditions. If you want me to be the reconciliator general of APC, everyone who has disgraced me, embarrassed me, you will tell them to respect me. Of course, they will respect you. Don't worry. We will respect you. Then if I call you, Bokwari, you will pick my call. Of course, now I'll pick your call. Anytime you want to come to the villa, we will arrange, you will come. Okay. Then finally, I want you to sack Maiyegun. I want to be the one to put the new chairman there. Oh, is that what you want? Oh, no be all of you be Southerner. Maiyegun will sack him for you. So do you have anybody you want to use? Yes, I have somebody. Who? Oshiomole. Oh, the former governor of Edo State. Yeah, he's a good guy. So you will nominate him. Yes. Oshiomole. If you want me to be the reconciliator, I want Oshiomole as next chairman. That was how Oshiomole became the APC chairman. Oh. And immediately the Fulani, all this Rufaya and co, they knew the plan. It was to bring Oshiomole to help him, in a way, take over the APC from the governors, so that when Tifnumbu is ready, it will be the one to say, oh, the governors cannot nominate delegates, party delegates during primaries. Are you with me? We say they believe that if they control the party, they control the government. Anybody will control party. That's how foolish they are, because they think they are dealing with normal people. They are dealing with terrorists, but they have no idea. Oshiomole became the chairman. Tifnumbu started jumping from everywhere, doing reconciliation in one of his trips to northern Nigeria. That's how he started becoming their friends again. Oh, to all of you who don't know why Tifnumbu suddenly removed the figure 8 cap, his figure 8 cap, and he started wearing Gandola's cap. You know Gandola now? Gandola, Tifnumbu. These are the two people they are planning to give to you in 2023. But they are Muslim, so it will likely not work. However, that will be in your dream, 2023. In one of his trips, where he's meeting the emirs, meeting everybody, doing all their jamboree, they are reconciling in APC. El Rufaya, the Kaduna little finger, in fact, was busy demolishing other APC senators' houses in Kaduna. Imagine, you are going to Sokoto to go and settle wahala for APC members. And as you are landing in Sokoto, where they called you, Ashiwaju Awanwere, they have also started demolish. The governor of Kaduna has demolished the house of Unkunyo, Senator Unkunyo. We don't know how to settle the fight, because even if we settle the fight, we don't know how we go give the house back. That's how the you see, as disorganized as they are, that is exactly the replica of disorganized Nigeria you have. They are just obongbo. I said it then. But he was determined to pay the price, whatever it's going to take. He wants to be president. Are you with me? Including if he has to lick the asses of every Tom, Dick, and Harry, as long as they can tell him he can be president. He is not thinking. So in 2019, they brought about what they called next level. And I said, this is the next devil. And immediately after the election as well, they returned Pastor Ruga to the kitchen or to the bedroom, where he is more useful, changing the diapers of the demented Bokwari. He became a useless human being. Now, as a Yoruba person, today, the Tifnumbu, who saw then that it is ideal for you to follow the America style. You remember the America style, whereby when America ran into trouble, they called on this, they called on that. You remember that that lie. The same Tifnumbu is so scared to even talk about the genocide going on in eastern Nigeria. He wants to be president. Are you with me? So they know him. There was a time, are you following? They said, Pastor Ruga is just a vice president arcade. Abba Kyari is the president and at the same time the vice president admin. You know those who made that statement? They were I think his name is called Amisu or something. It was that guy sacked by Gandola of Kano because he criticized Bokwari over the kidnapped school children in Kankara. You remember Amisu or something is his name? That was the guy who said, many of you, all of you Southerner, you think you understand power, you understand politics. Every time you think politics is about speaking big grammar, speaking big stuff. Okay, now you have the vice president, who is just a vice president arcade, which is vice president academy. The vice president admin was Abba Kyari, and then whoever they appointed to replace him after his death. So Oshibade Ikene Shatabandu became a poster boy, somebody who can come and speak a grammar to you if you are confused about Boko Haram's Nigeria. Are you with me? Now, that Tifnumbu, you know what they said? When Boko Haram was flown out, and when they said Boko Haram, in fact, before Boko Haram flew out, they said Boko Haram had, Abba Kyari had the coronavirus. Okay? Then, in fact, before Abba Kyari said coronavirus, there was a time that Boko Haram was flown out, and they said that Boko Haram didn't hand over power. And there was a time that we were asking that he should return back to Nigeria. You know what those northern educated ones were saying? We cannot let the same thing that happened during Yaradua happen again. Even if Boko Haram is the worst thing, it is the worst president, Boko Haram must finish his tenure. Even if Boko Haram kill all Nigerians, he must finish his tenure, because they cannot leave Nigeria in the hands of all these thieves. Do you know who they were referring to as thieves? They were referring to the Lagos, the Bodilon landlord, Tifnumbu. They were referring to fake Pastor Ruga, and they were right. You know, when the Fulani tells you that your leaders are thieves, okay, but they mingle with your with their own preferred thieves, but they will still tell you your leaders are thieves. Oh, you Southerners, you are thieves. Why they loot and pillage the land themselves, right? So they believe that fake Pastor Ruga, if they should leave them for just 1 year last song, all of you will begin to say, oh boy, it be like say all these Fulani jihadists, all these jihadist apologists, it be like say they are even better. Tifnumbu and gang, they are worse. Shebi, you still have a federal Ministry of Finance, You still have a Federal Inland Revenue Service. Once they take over, like Alpha Beta in Lagos, they will take over everything. And this Fulani terrorist knows. And they said, we must, even if a dead Buhari, if Buhari is dead, they will put a dead Buhari as your president for the rest of his tenure. And they mean it. They don't care. They said, even if they burn down to your entire northern Nigeria, if Boko Haram kill everybody, Buhari will finish his tenure. And you, Southerner, you have no choice. The same people who couldn't make Boko Haram president for 12 years, the same people, they are now telling you that they can make anybody president with or without all of you in Southern Nigeria. You know what they have done? They have realized that with the power they have and the ass lickers you call leaders in Southern Nigeria, we can continue to make mouth. They will never relinquish that power. And guess what? Tifnumbu will pay the supreme price this time around, because they burnt him once, they burnt him twice, and the third time is never going to be the same. Take my word for it. Boko Haram came. Tifnumbu dragged a terrorist. They funded a terrorist, Atifku, Saraki, and the rest of them. They funded a terrorist to be in charge of Nigeria. This terrorist is now threatening the people of Eastern Nigeria with genocide. Exactly what they said he would do if you ever have any chance of leading Nigeria. Okay? Boko Haram said something, because I'm not in doubt. You remember when they did the video, they said recently, out of all this wahala, Tifnumbu called a meeting in Lagos where he called some governors, his own boys, to come in and just give it a credence so that they can make a press statement. Do you know that that press statement was ordered by Boko Haram? Everything going on around Nigeria right now, all of you protesting, all of you staging a protest tomorrow, according to the Fulani jihadists, you are being sponsored by Tifnumbu. You see, they don't trust him. He knows they don't trust him. He's doing everything to prove to them that he is on their side, but they don't trust him. Are you with me? And what we are doing right now is to make sure that the Yorubas will not listen to somebody like that anymore. And we are very happy that a lot of Yorubas are agreeing with us that Tifnumbu doesn't speak for us. He pretended to be speaking for the Yorubas in 2011, in 2014, and at the same time in 2019. Where did that leave us? It left our people more, vulnerable, more in poverty. underdevelopment, and now insecurity. He has no say. When anything happened in any part of southern Nigeria right now, he has no say. He is the suspect. And that is why when Bokwari came to Lagos and he said, you cannot sit in Lagos and decide on decide the zoning for APC. Okay? Some of these Lagos Abobakus, some of these Oshogbo Alimajiris, they are just people who have no joy for real. They are creating their own joy by living in their own bubble. Okay? But this bubble is about to burst. And we will be here to witness it. Okay? Number one, there is no country for Tifnubu to rule over anymore. The country is so divided. The country is so ruined. The economy is so in shambles that you will ask him, where is he going to start from? That is on the number one. They have taken over all the security architectures. They have planted all their cells of terrorists all over the country. Where is Tifnubu going to bring those who are going to chase away the terrorists? Or is coming to implement the same thing they said in their video, whereby they will give land to these invading terrorists and they will build ranches for them. They will build schools for them. They will build hospitals for them. They will, in order for all of you to have peace, while you continue to dream about that good schools, about that good hospital, about that good road. Can you see that everybody is now towing what Bokwari wanted? Even those who claim to be smarter than him, even those who claim to be smarter than the northerner when it comes to politics. When you see them bragging, Tifnubu is this, Tifnubu is that, do you see why you shouldn't agree with them? Smart people don't sacrifice the lives of their people for a selfish 8 years in power. Nobody does that, except the narcissist, selfish, greedy criminals like that. And you, the people, should never agree to that. You shouldn't. Today, they ask Bokwari, because I know that the same thing Bokwari said in the video I'm about to share with you now. Pay attention, and don't pay attention to distraction, please. I want you to pay attention to the key word of what if Bokwari is going to say in this video, because I have something to let you to see there. I want you to see something there. Okay? I believe that the same thing Bokwari said, some South leaders came to him and they assured him that Biafra will never come, that they will work with Bokwari, that they will never be part of Biafra, and they will help Bokwari to isolate the Biafrans. The genocide they are planning, they can't do it. Fulani can't kill all of us. Let me tell you something. Let them bring 1 million, 2 million, 10 million Fulani jihadis from Mauritania, from Niger, from Chad, from Mali, from anywhere they are bringing them from. Let them bring 10 million and give them 10 million guns. They cannot overrun the southern Nigeria. They have no such power. That is why they have collaborators. The people that will make it easier for them. The people that will join and help them kill you. And when Bokwari said some South leaders came, the first person that came to my mind is Werewike. Werewike has publicly bragged that he will kill IPOB. He has been killing them. And he will kill more. Nobody will be called IPOB in River State. All he needs to do is that whenever he's thirsty for blood, he will just call the military from Bokwari, and they will come with their gun and everything. And they will start going from house to house of IGBOS. And they'll start bringing them out and shoot them, kill them. That's all he needs to do to prove to Bokwari. So when Bokwari said some southern leaders, South leaders, told him that they will ensure that the Biafrans have no access to water, then you realize that Fulani cannot kill you if your brother no open door. So when he mentioned South leaders, my mind just told me that, oh boy, they have also signed the same warrant on all of us in the Southwest too. Because Southwest leaders have told you to stop the nonsense, they call it nonsense, for asking for self-determination. Nonsense for having for good leadership and good country. Nonsense for asking them to build the country for the sake of those generation coming after them. Nonsense. And they have told Bokwari, you can go ahead though. If anybody say they want to build Dua Republic, we can assure you, Ondo State under me will not be part of it. Ondo in Yoruba land, Ogun State under me, sir, they will never be part of it. Oh, okay, well done. Good boy. Ekiti State under me, sir, they will never be part of Oduduwa Republic. Say, oh, good boy, well done. Lagos State will never be part of Oduduwa Republic. Great guy, well done. Osun will never be part of Oduduwa Republic under me. Look at the guys pledging all of this. These are failed guys who have overseen the impoverishment. Who have overseen the the poverty increasing on their own people. They saw the increased poverty in the land. But guess what? They have to pledge. So when they mentioned South, that they were going, that Biafra will now be like a dot in the circle. Do you know what I mean? It means that all you need to do is just to send the soldier after them. If they think they can run to this place, I have my friends there, they will kill them too. That is the Nigeria that Ifnumbu, Atifku, Adeboye, and so many of them who told you that Bokwari's change was going to bring you peace. Maybe you don't understand. Watch this.
You talked about talking to the people of Northeast in the language you understand. That is the whole, there's a crisis around that language. So it shows that because we were a former military man, we are talking about, using force to restore order. But it's understood in another way, especially given what happened last week, when you spoke about the Southeast, IGBOS, and all that. One, the controversy of Twitter. When is the government going to be ban Twitter? The suspension of Twitter. Because, when is Nigeria are expecting when the government will do that? And two, how are we going to resolve the crisis in the Southeast?
Well, Southeast, I was encouraged by what I heard. Nobody told me. 2 statements from the South. One by elderly people. No, South. Yes, by elderly people. They said this time around there will be no access to sea. I'm sure you will understand what they mean. Again, the youth made the same statement. That encouraged me. So that EPOB is just like a dot in a circle. If they want to exist, they would have no access to anywhere. And the way they are spread all over the country, having businesses, having property, I think EPOB doesn't know what they are talking about. In any case, we say we'll talk to them in the language they understand. We'll organize the police and the military to pursue them. That's what we can do. And we will do it.
What about Twitter?
Twitter. That I will give to myself. What?
Well, still on the Southeast, Mr. President, how do you plan to include more people from the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, to include more people?
Did you hear them laugh? People are dying. People are being killed. At least on record, over 600 young people have been killed in Imo State alone in the last 50 days. But when they mentioned the Southeast, it said they are just like a dot in a circle. And some leaders, elders from South, told him, and some youth assured him and encouraged him that this time around, there will be no exit for them. And I know what to do. We will speak to them in the language they understand. We will send the soldiers and the police after them and kill them. That is the consequences of 2015, whether you supported Bokuwari, whether you didn't support Bokuwari. The danger of being part of one Nigeria is that the calamity will not befall those who voted or supported Bokuwari alone. Everyone will have a share. The lady repeated the question, okay? And I think you should listen to it again.
Still on the Southeast, Mr. President, how do you plan to include more people from the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, to include more people in the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, in your government, especially in security services and MDAs?
You look at, say, NNPC, look at the military. People who have been there for 18 years, or people who have been there, say, for 10 years, they trained in Zaria or in Abeokuta. You know, they come through the ranks, and because they served under all the circumstances, the crisis and everything, and they gradually rise to that status. And you think you just pick somebody just to balance up? These positions have to be earned. Those positions have to be earned. There are people who have been there for 10, 15 years. And you just because somebody will say, well, there's nobody. If you don't join, you are not forced to join. But when you join, you go through the rigmarole. You go through the problem throughout, and you learn by this system.
Some people will tell you that it doesn't know what he's saying there. It does. It is deliberate. When they ask that what is planned for how to include the people from the Southeast in his government, especially the security and all of that, did you see what he was talking about? It was intentional. And I'm not going to really go into that. But guess what? When it was time for him to talk about how to kill the IGBOS, it was so deliberate and very clear. But there's something he also said in that video. He said, number one, there's nowhere for them to go. And also, they have properties all over the country. That is called gaslighting. If you listen or if you have been following the development in Nigeria, you would probably have been reading from those Facebook adsmen, social media bandits, some of them bearing Abdullahi this, Salih Sudat, Shekau that, and the rest. You will hear them, you know, sending a sort of a coded message or messages in their comments on the plan to actually attack Igbos in every part of Nigeria, simply because the Igbos are asking to leave Nigeria. Don't let us get it too complicated, okay?